Black World family. And I just wanted to take a few minutes of your time today to address a couple things. First of all, uh, Al Sharpton is talking yet again, and I just wanted to address something that he said that was factually incorrect. And I want you to understand something, your Black World family. Because somebody made a comment on one of my pages earlier today on the Breaking Brown Facebook page and basically said, "Oh, Yvette, don't you understand that Barack Obama is leaving? Don't you understand that he's going to be going away? Why are you still devoting so much time to this guy? And why are you still not going after conservatives?" And I just wanted to lay that to rest because that's one of the sort of stupidest talking points I've had in some time is that I don't address conservatives, there's one very specific reason for that, and that is that black people didn't give 90% of their vote to conservatives. So the expectation that we have for conservatives is very different. So that's just that. Um, but Al Sharpton is talking again, and what he's doing indicates where we are now in the whole Obama scheme of things. Al Sharpton said, he doesn't understand why people keep talking about Obama when Clinton was much worse. Clinton gave us mass incarceration. Clinton gave us welfare reform. Uh, and I'm not even disagreeing with Al Sharpton on that note. But what you have to understand when you hear Al Sharpton say that, what you're basically hearing Al Sharpton say is that I'm in legacy CPR mode. I am trying to breathe life into Obama's legacy. I'm trying to make him look less worse than he already looks. I am trying to revive his legacy. That's what I was paid to do. So it says something when the only way that he can do that is by saying the white guy was worse. I mean, the only thing that Al Sharpton said, and this is a piece, is there's a link to the piece up on breakingbrown.com. Because I wrote a piece about it as well, and there's a link to the original article where Al Sharpton basically said, the white guy was worse. So, why aren't you talking about Clinton? And I mean, it's very obvious that we aren't talking about Clinton because Clinton's not president. I have been I have not been a fan of Clinton. I have been one of those people who has historically, especially within the last 7 or 8 years, just kind of the blinders came off of the Democratic Party and I saw Clinton for what he was. And I think you could actually make the case that Clinton was worse than some Republican presidents. You could probably make the case that Clinton was worse than George H.W. Bush, certainly. But what does it say that Al Sharpton is now in the position of telling us, Obama may not have been what you dreamed of, but he was not worse than Bill Clinton. What does that say about Obama's legacy? And the one thing Al Sharpton did point to was Obamacare, and we've seen statistics that show that among the people who are benefiting, blacks typically aren't as a group of people in that category. So what does it say that he says Obamacare and Clinton was worse? Because here's the truth of the matter, people. In an era where black people are being gunned down, unarmed black people on the regular. What you are seeing now, you had Obama. Oh boy, Obama signed a bill to protect police officers from threats. The Obama's education plan, his race to the top. Under that education plan, we've seen more schools closed than almost any time in modern history. Did Clinton do that too? You saw HBCUs take a huge hit, $150 million. 20 some odd thousand kids forced to drop out of school. Was that Clinton's fault too? When you look at the black unemployment numbers that just came out, the total unemployment number, when you look at that number, black people are the largest group who are dropping out of the labor force. So this idea, and Al Sharpton said something else that didn't quite make sense, but I'm used to hearing that sort of thing from Al Sharpton. He said, well, Obama didn't pass a law that hurt us. So the best he could come up with was Obama didn't pass any law that hurt black people. Well, the truth of the matter is you don't have to pass a bill that specifically hurts black people to hurt black people. And I would even argue that Obama hasn't helped pass bills that hurt black people. There was an increase in the Bureau of Prisons under Obama's legislation, and I don't know who would make the argument that didn't hurt black people, that mass incarceration doesn't hurt black people, But that's what Obama does. He says he takes with one hand, and he gives with one hand, and he takes away with the other hand, and we only look at one hand, so we don't know what's going on. So I want people to pay, and the reason I come to you with these videos is not because I'm just trying to bash Obama, but I understand that people go to work, people have stuff to do, and you don't have all day to research and look at these articles and look at what he said. So I just want you to know what's happening right now. What's happening right now is that Al Sharpton is doing what he's paid to do. He's trying to build a legacy for Obama. And in building that legacy, all he can do, the only card he can play right now is to basically say, well, you know what? Bill Clinton was worse. And why aren't you talking about Bill Clinton? I think that says a lot about Al Sharpton, the guy who Obama handpicked to be his ambassador for black people. I think that says a lot about Al Sharpton. I think that says a lot about where we are as black people, as people who are, who are not and poor black people, poor people in general. This really says a lot about where we are right now. And I think you have to look at that. I mean, listen, Al Sharpton's not a dummy. He's not exactly the brightest apple in the barrel, but he's not a dummy. So he's doing this, he's playing this card because Al Sharpton knows that this is the only card he has left to play. That in terms of a legacy, Obama has done more detriment to black people than help black people. So I think you kind of get that. I mean, people forget, everybody talks about Republicans. People forget that Obama came in with a Democratic Congress. And part of the reason that his Congress walked the plank in 2010 is because Obama didn't stand with them. He didn't risk any of his political capital campaigning for Democrats after he bungled his health care plan that put many of them in that position in the first place. So much of this is Obama's fault, and so much of this people are trying to rewrite, and it's sort of this like revisionist history of the Obama administration. So what I'm saying is that even if you don't believe me, go to breakingbrown.com. I link to the article, which has a lot of different interviews from a variety of different people. But what I want you to fixate on, or what I want you to focus on right now, is that during the time where black people, and this is something that Frederick Harris, who has a great book, by the way, that you should probably check out, I think it's The Price of the Ticket. But it's also mentioned in the article. If you go there, one of the things that Frederick Harris says that is so important is that during the time where black people are in the streets protesting in Ferguson and elsewhere, and you look at Eric Garner and all this stuff is happening. We're talking about the humanity of blacks and whether or not blacks, have the same humanity as whites. And we're talking about white privilege and white supremacy. This is all happening while we have a black president. This isn't Bush. This isn't even Clinton. This isn't Reagan. This is Obama. So what does it say about Obama if that's the case? So I think that's a question that we should all have. That's a question that we should all answer within ourselves when we're talking about the legacy of the Obama administration. So, have at it. That's a discussion I'd like to have.